Hey guys, got about half good chunk of people here. Yeah, I thought I'd just help out Ken, and I don't know if he was looking for more breakout rooms, but I thought I'd throw my hat in the ring. Hey, I'd be interested to know what maybe a quick. I don't know. Well, I said 30 minutes. I don't know if we have time, but I kind of do some introductions. But some of you already know, and others maybe we don't have enough time. Yeah, I was going to share a couple things that I've been doing lately. You guys might find interesting. So one is this, I want to share a book I started reading. It's kind of interesting. At this book, it's called, wait, where is it? I got a lot of books. It's called Entering Exits, Confessions of a Champion Trader by Kevin Davey. So go there. So I know Kevin, he's pretty well respected in the algo trading kind of community, and he actually writes a column for Technical Analysis of Stocks and Commodities magazine on algo trading. He's been a longtime member of a forum I've been a longtime member of called futures.io, and he hangs out a lot there. So anyway, he wrote a number of books, but this book is kind of cool because the idea is, you know, just knowing an entry and exit rule is not going to make or break you, but they are important, and people like to know what's your entry rule or what's your exit rule. You know, they want to know your rules, right? Let's go to the chat here. Yes, Kevin is a TradeStation guy. So he wrote this book, and basically it's 40. Let's see, I think it's like 34 entry rules and 7 exit rules. I think I could have the numbers wrong, but something around there. And he basically just writes the rule, explains the rule. So here's entry number 14. So I guess this is where I left off. I haven't finished the book yet. And I'll just go over this one just to show you an example. And I think it's an interesting book because you can kind of go through it. It just might give you some ideas on strategy development, ideas for new strategies. So here's one example. This is called the split week, part 1. So earlier he talked about entries where you could only trade certain days of the week. And this one is based on a midday, so only trade Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for example. Or maybe you only want to trade Friday, Monday. And this one, for some reason, it can generate signals on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So what he does is he explains the concept, then he gives actual TradeStation codes. If you're a TradeStation or multi-charts, you know, if you're an easy language user, you can actually just go and try this code, which is kind of nice. And then he gives the code, he explains it in English, which is also nice because I'm more of a NinjaTrader developer. So I could I can read easy language, it's not hard to read. So, but it's nice to see in English too described. And that's it. And sometimes it gives a performance chart, equity curve graph of that strategy, which is, you know, kind of nice, especially if it's a good one. And that's it. That's basically what the book is. It's just a bunch of entries and exits. Code is included, the explanations included, and it's not that these are standalone strategies, but they can give you ideas on maybe where to start or maybe how to make your strategy better. And I just thought it was kind of a cool book. I just wanted to share that. What do you guys think about it? Has anyone read this?
No, I haven't. I'm definitely interested in picking it up. But Scott, have you converted like any of these into your IB stuff?
No, I started reading the book this week.
Okay.
And so yeah, I haven't written or converted anything yet.
How much are you doing with IB?
What do you mean how much? Like how many trades?
No, like are you like how far down the pipeline are you with like doing any sort of automation with the API on that?
So my automated trading uses two platforms. One is NinjaTrader, where I do a lot of my back testing and modeling. And I have used NinjaTrader in the past for actual execution. And I'm not against that. But with interactive brokers, they have an adapter that'll connect with interactive brokers. You can actually just use NinjaTrader if you want with interactive brokers. But I was interested in the API because there were certain things I wanted to do that are hard to do in NinjaTrader. And so one example, I have an algorithm that I wrote and have run. It hasn't made a lot of money though. So I stopped using it a while ago, and I want to improve it. But basically, I picked 20 stocks a day that I wanted to day trade. And I have some criteria I use to find which, how to choose which stock. Basically, I'm trying to find stocks which I think will be volatile the next day, that I think are going to move a lot intraday. So once I come up with that list, then I have programmed that in IB, or I wrote it in C#, but it talks to IB. It basically just says ATR breakouts. So once it opens, here's the strategy. Once it opens, the market opens, it already has pre-measured I don't know, I think it's like the 5-day ATR. It's some daily ATR on the daily time frame. And then I do an ATR breakout. So let's say it opens at 100 and the ATR is 10. Let's make the math easy. So so what I do is I can configure this, but if it moves at 5% of the ATR up, I go long. If it moves 5% below 5% of the ATR down, I go short. And so I have this little range of plus or minus 5% of the daily ATR from the open. And I'm just playing breakouts from that. And the exit is hold till end of day. Or I have some astronomically large profit target, which almost never gets hit, like 10 times the ATR. If it's just a real big runner, I'm just going to take profits and get out, because probably everyone will sell it into the close. So, and that, it had some good days and bad days. I have some new ideas how I want to improve it. I just haven't gotten to it. I do have a job, so I wish I could be like Ken and just work on this all day long. But I do have a job. So that's what I'm doing with interactive brokers. I also have other tools I use with interactive brokers that can track that and track stocks and follow stocks and futures, overnight markets, send alerts, things like that. So that's where I'm at. I don't know if that answers your question. You said, how far into it am I?
No, yeah, it's pretty close to, I guess, what I kind of envision doing stuff. Like I dove into the TOS API really hard last summer,
Yeah.
and then really haven't done much with it. And the Tasty Trade or Tasty Works has been promising an API for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And supposedly it's the end of this year. But I recently found a thing. Let me pop the chat open real quick here. There's a project on GitHub with an unofficial API.
Oh.
And I don't know if anybody's used it or not. So I started like looking at that this week. I was taking a class before, and I haven't been able to do much for the past 6 months, but this is like, I'm going to kind of start focusing on this. IB, I think, is the only other real option from what I, as far as the flexibility, like where you're not really locked into a real stringent path. But this looks actually possibly promising. And so, I mean, because really at this point, I'm not as interested in automated trading as I am about like getting some price history data and doing some analysis on that.
No. So here's a screenshot of this is from, I guess, April 2020.
Right.
So I had a GUI I built for this. I just called the IB Executioner.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's the 20 stocks, right? And then see, on this day I was down about $50 at this point. But basically, here's my position. So I put about 5,000 or 10,000 in each trade. I can't remember. I think it's 5,000. Yep. I did went back and forth. Last price. Here's the opening price, and then the low the low of the day. Let's see. I think this is so the ATR is 6.11 way over on the right here. And so I think it's either 5 or 10%. I think 5%. So it'd be 30 cents plus or minus the open, right? So 50 plus 30 is 57.80. Okay, 31 cents. And then 31 cents down is the low. So I'm basically playing breakouts below this low or above this high. And then if it goes, let's say it goes up above the high, if it comes back and hits the open, it stops out. So I have a stop sitting at the open. So it takes a lot of losses, very small losses. I mean, my win ratio on a good day, on a bad day, my win percent would be like 10%. On a good day, it'd be like 30% would be a really good day because I'm probably hitting really big targets. So I actually have a target 54.80. So 54.84. This looks like about half an ATR. I was short here.
Right.
So yeah, it looks like maybe half an ATR. I can't remember what the settings were at the time. And then this check mark range means is it in the range or not? Like inside between the low and the high, I guess 56.88. No, that's outside the range. Maybe I can't remember what this means, the check mark. So that's
probably in the range. Is it in the range of the ATR?
Either I think it means did it re-enter the range? Because what happens is if I like FANG, like down here, FANG, I have no position. Looks like I realized gains of $264, so I hit my target. And so I'm not going to take a new trade unless it goes in the range first. It has to go back down inside that range around the open. So that's why the check mark's not checked. So I know it's not going to take new entries till it goes back in the range. So that's what that check mark is. Like cock, is the strategy cock to fire or not? Right now it's not because it's too far out of the range. So, but it made its target in two trades that day. This blue highlighted, it's already made 9 trades down $100 on the day. The current trade, it's unrealized, it's up $28. So again, that doesn't really tell you anything about IB, but that's just an example of how I use it.
So I have a quick question for Tim. I know this is Scott sort of leading this, but Tim, I guess my question is, it seems like algo trading you'd be well suited for that, given your capability to develop software and your expertise doing that. So can you describe or expand a little bit on why you aren't attempting that, or why you're not paying any attention to that, or say anything about it?
I don't know. I mean, I on one hand, I probably should do a strategy that does this, and I guess I'm more open to it than I ever have been before, which isn't saying anything about people that do it. I mean, I probably should do it. I'm probably behind on, at least as part of my strategy, but I feel like actually putting the trades on isn't my weak spot. And I'm in a situation where I can watch the markets most of the time. So if I actually had to focus on other stuff, I'd be like a job or anything like that. I'd probably be more interested in doing it.
Yeah. Cool. That makes sense. Thanks. That's yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Tim, can you clarify a while ago you mentioned TOS API? You meant the TDA API, correct?
I did. Yes, I did.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it'd be
Gary
nice
here,
if there was a TOS API.
Yeah, Gary here, who's speaking before me, he's done quite a bit with TOS and TDA APIs. So,
well, is anybody else? Yeah, is anybody else in the group doing what is everybody else in the group doing, or are they just kind of getting started doing it?
Hey Tim, this is Kirk. You know I've been trading that TOS API. I had dismal results for my first try. I'm thinking of a different strategy, but I like the ability to do automated trading.
So your trading is working. You're just trying to find the right algo right now.
Well, yeah, I believe it's my issue, my style,
right.
Not the
right.
So I'll just ask a general question: is anyone currently algo trading?
Yeah, I'm doing TradeStation Easy Language, but I'm not
Okay.
doing anything active with real money yet. It's all
Okay.
paper money. Yeah.
Okay, good. Anybody else do anything with paper money at least?
I am. Yeah, I've
Okay.
got a strategy that actually looks very good in paper money, but I think there's a flaw, right? So it's too good to be.
Is this your boxcar work?
Yeah. I'm tracking down exactly what's happening, but there's some kind of a feels that it shows that I don't think are. I'm trying to understand why it shows such favorable feels from time to time.
So how are you automating the trades in TOS?
Oh, for toss, what I do, I've got this trade that I don't want to. Once I put it on, I don't want to have to stare at the screen and manage, because for me, doing that stuff in real time, I might want to go get a cup of coffee or something. I don't want to be subject to that, so I'd prefer to try to do my homework, place the trade, and describe exactly what I want it to do when. And with TOS, I can actually do that. I can code that up into the advanced orders and place it such that it'll get me out whenever I want to get out. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just putting those on. So manually, I'll copy and paste my complex order into TOS, and then move on, do another one, do another one, do another one, that type of thing. And I kind of like that.
So Gary, just from what I understand, you have this B tool, or you have software that generates a string that obviously you can copy a string. If the string is formatted correctly, you can copy it into TradeStation. It'll understand it and actually create an order that you can just hit send, right?
Yeah, I copy and paste it into TOS. So I have to set the TOS up to, for these orders, first triggers one, cancels other, then I can paste the entire string in there. So it's generally, it's like, 4 different trades or something. So and that seems to work great.
And then the exits are automated, and that they're like conditional orders, right? They're
right.
Once you put them in, you just walk away and it does what it does.
Yeah, and kind of like one of the things when things are going away from me, I want to get out of the trade, I use an offset from the mark, give up an extra 25 cents on my SPX orders. And that always seems to have been working for me. I haven't had issues with that yet.
So I think what Gary does is highlights a point that I've discovered over the years is automated trading doesn't have to be about some piece of software just buying and selling all day for you. That you can automate your scanning, you can automate, automate the scanning of opportunities, or automate, like what Gary does with conditional orders. There's lots of ways to automate without having to be a programmer.
Hey Scott, as a matter of interest, it's Peter Elson. I know are you aware of Option Alpha, which is a site that is creating their own automation site?
Kirk Duplessis, yeah.
Yeah, because in theory, he's about to go live with, it's platform agnostic. And you don't have to be a programmer to automate your trades. So
is that, he's been talking about that for years. Is that, it's still not live?
It's live for his own back tester. It's meant to be going live with TOS and TradeStation imminently, whatever that may mean. But it is very close, I think.
Okay. Yeah,
he's got a lot of people who've joined it. He's got a huge base there.
Would you repeat that?
Option Slam? No, sorry, not Option Slam. Option Alpha.
OptionAlpha.com. Yeah. So he has a podcast I used to listen to called, I think it's called the Option Alpha Podcast. I don't know. And historically he's a big option seller. And what he's done is he's created. It's like why he just thought he started doing some studies, some data, statistical studies on option strategies, and then he created a backtesting tool, and now he's taking this tool where you could actually create a program or set of rules that'll, basically an algorithm that'll execute trades for you.
Yeah, and you don't have to be a programmer. It's just applying logic.
It's like drag and drop. Yeah. So Peter, have you used it?
I'm in the process of learning it. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe a demo, that would be cool sometime.
I'm not quite that far advanced yet, but.
Peter, would you post that? I did Option Alpha and I got domain for sale.
Okay, it's Option
Option Alpha, ALPHA.com.
Yeah, optionalpha.com. Yeah, that's it.
I'll put it. Yeah, it's there in the chat. And then bots. I mean, the strategies, I haven't looked, I'm not going to say anything about it because I haven't looked at it, but they have predefined, indicators you can bring in.
Yeah, it looks pretty neat. You can set thresholds. You can set, he calls them bots, to take you out of in a certain position to check if the option's about to expire and it automatically close the trade down, this sort of thing.
Yeah. There's other trading APIs out there that some people use. I don't know about broker support. I can't remember. I know Tradier is one of them. TRADIER. They have also a broker too, I guess. So yeah, they have brokerage API.
So I have a quick random question, Scott, about NinjaTrader. Now, so isn't it NinjaTrader that allows you to buy or rent strategies and then trade those strategies? If you had any experience with that?
They're.
Oh no, it's another one. I'm sorry, it's not NinjaTrader. It's the platform. It's a different. I forget what it's called. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. But
well, there's a few. There's one called Collective 2.
Yeah.
And you can rent or subscribe to strategies, and you can even set it up to auto trade those for you if you want. And these are strategies that people submit. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah. So that was sort of actually a question for the group, was if anybody had done that and was it profitable? Because I started to do Collective, but then I backed out and didn't follow through.
Yeah, I've been filming with them for a long time. I actually was thinking about being a publisher of a strategy, and I just didn't do it. I don't know why, but I don't know. I think anytime you follow someone's strategies, I get emails from them. They say, hey, here's our strategy of the week, and it's got this amazing equity curve of how it's been doing the last 6 months or whatever. And I found some old email, one of those emails that was a couple years old. And I'm like, hey, I wonder how this is still doing. And I went back, and then the guy went out of business. It went down to 0. So, you can track performance of these things. So
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Buyer beware.
Yeah. That's why I asked, was because if you had experienced it and what you just said, it's interesting. And like I said, I didn't follow through. Thanks.
Yeah. There's probably some good ones there. I just don't know of any. That'd be an interesting experiment. It'd take a lot of work, but just always follow the top 10 strategies, and every week, if there's a new top 10, dump one and that's out of the top 10 and add the new top 10, and just follow 10 strategies and adjust every week. I don't know if that, it's kind of like trend following, but you're trend following strategies, not trend following equity curves, basically.
No, actually, that's a pretty good idea. You could just put a small portion. You could actually trade it and put a little bit of money in it, and then see how it does over the course of a year. And then you go, okay, well, that actually worked, or it didn't.
The only problem is you have to pay for 10 strategies just for subscriptions, which could be $100 each. It'd be nice to have like a package where, hey, I want to follow 20 guys, for $200 or some bulk rate.
Anybody know any other, like the one I've kind of started looking at too is this Quant Connect. Anybody ever done anything with that?
I have not. I've looked at it. There's so many things out there. Yeah, I just kind of stick with what I know usually, and occasionally I'll veer off into something new, but not too much. I'll look at
Nobody.
it. But, yeah.
No, nobody's. I was just wondering if anybody had any experience.
It looks interesting. I remember thinking, hey, that's interesting, but it already does what I do. So, or kind of.
Right.
I think they're one of these guys where you run you build user tool to build a strategy, and then it runs in their cloud. So they basically have your strategy, which I don't like, if that's the case. Like that's how what's the one that closed down or got bought? The Python. You wrote Python strategies, and it'd be hosted on their site.
I feel like it might be these guys' old company. I can't remember the name of it, but I think this is the one. One of them, they actually recently started this one, and I think the one you're talking about is the one that they exited.
Is there any topics you guys would like to discuss next time that maybe, if we want to make this a regular breakout room, or things you're interested topically, and then some of us or one of us could present it, or what you'd like to hear?
Is anybody else actually working actively towards doing anything automated?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Actually, I'm moving. I'm trying to get. Basically, I call it the capability to do algo trading using TradeStation. And so Scott mentioned the book. So in my goal would be like to review the books, entries and exits, and develop that as a capability. I have a TradeStation account, and I'd like to be able to trade it. And then, but I mean, I have at least half a dozen ideas for things that I'd like to do, but I don't know that I have the time to do that.
That's my problem. I have thousands of ideas, and there's no time.
Exactly.
Go after them all. I have to focus.
I'm sorry. Did I answer your question, Scott? Is that Tim? Is that what you were looking for? People that were trading, or?
Yeah. I just wanted to know what everybody's what they were interested in doing.
So I have one trade that I'm doing, but it's not automated, but it's based on back testing. I have a bunch of trades I do, but this one. So every Thursday, I basically call it the Thursday gold trade. So on Thursday, either at the close or at the open of the Friday session and on the Globex session, which is Thursday at 3 p.m., I buy gold, and then I exit right before the end of session Friday. So it's a one-day hold. For some reason, that Friday session, gold is very bullish. They're generally bullish. I'm trying to find the back test I did on that. I can't find it right now.
Oh, that's neat.
So I just do that manually though. So I just
yeah.
I just have a little reminder in my calendar to pop up. Hey, do the gold trade.
Yeah.
This breakout room's about to close.
Yeah.
All right.